State Department is pulling an agent that specializes in cartel activity.
FBI!
You'll be part of the team.
What's our objective?
To dramatically overreact.
You're not American. Who do you work for now?
I go where I'm sent. Welcome to Juarez.
I think the fact that it asks you to question your own moral compass as an audience member, and that you see this character that I play, Kate Mesos, represents morality in a very amoral world, and those themes of the cycles of violence and if the end really justifies the means, I think really struck me when I read it, and the script was quite spare and everything felt suggested. So I really, responded to that, because very often you feel like you're getting spoon-fed everything when you watch a film or when you read it. And that female protagonist in a very masculine world is unusual, also a rarity.
Sicario was a project that I felt in love with because the story was so powerful, so meaningful about our world today. The fact that it was set at the Mexican border with the United States, I thought was like something that attracted me a lot, because it's a place in the world I feel that is sadly inspiring. That strong contrast, two societies living side by side. City of El Paso at the border is recognized to be one of the safest places in the United States. And right up on the other side of the bridge is the most violent city in the world. And to have that strong contrast, I thought, saying a lot of things about the world today.
Get your service weapon out. Gun.
Gun left.
What are the rules here? Stay in your vehicle.
When I read the script, I thought the story was original, and looking at the character, I was, it pulled me in, and then because I understood what was his motivations, I understood where he was coming from, his actions, but then the fact that I was repulsed by it too towards the end. Those are the kind of characters you want to build, and then meeting the director, Denis Villeneuve, was his enthusiasm, his sensitivity to the subject.
Where were you sent from?
Cartagena.
Colombia.
Nothing will make sense to your American ears.
I love silence, the power of silence, and I work with actors that have the skills to bring a lot on the screen just by the way we feel, we see how they feel. They don't have to express it with dialogues. It's like something that I feel that is more cinematic this way, and it's like there's other directors that are doing it in a different way. Me, I prefer silence.
Acting is really about listening. I had a lot of that on this film, and but there was a lot to react to, because actually in the scenes I'm working with these enormous, like guerrilla-like Delta Force, DEA, FBI, CIA characters who don't give anything away, and the scenes are played with great mystery, and you've got the character that Benicio's playing who's so enigmatic, and he's like a sort of ghost. You don't know what he is or what he does. And I'm working with actors like Josh and Benicio who don't lay it all out bare. I think they hold a lot back and submarine it, which is really exciting to do a scene with, because you're kept on your toes as to how they're going to surprise you in the scene.
They just seized $17 million.
It's a bogus bust, Kate.
What?
You can't prosecute it. No one controls who deposits money in an account. An attorney will have that money back in a few months, but a lot of heads will roll before that.
But we can arrest Manuel for now. We can get him off the street.
You gotta get Manuel called back to Mexico. That's the objective.
We have no jurisdiction in Mexico.
Actors, in order to be good, need to be directed. At the same time, I should say that I love to give them space. The more I'm confident, the more I'm learning about my job, the more I love to give space to actors. Meaning that I love when they have the freedom to bring ideas. I love, creativity is about you have to throw everything on the table, bad and good ideas, and then I choose as a director. So I like to create an atmosphere of a laboratory, with the actors, that where they will feel that their ideas are welcome.
When I first saw the film, which has happened to me with the best filmmakers I've worked with, it's almost like everything is new. Somehow, he just honors all that work and puts it together. And the bottom line is inclusion. He includes everybody, but he's the captain and he knows where it's going.
Taylor Sheridan was writing from a very personal experience of having a brother who is a journalist in that part of the world and has his life threatened every day of the week. And so, yes, the film is fiction, but I think it had a very strong, compelling emotional heartbeat because this is a real war that's going on down there. And so many people are being affected by it in a profound way. The cartel have a way of searing their imprint onto people's lives, and a lot of people are losing their lives. So you're dealing with, this is not an exaggerated, cartoonish depiction of what goes on down there. So I think it is emotional. You see the effect that it has on a Mexican family, and yet you see the effect it has on my character.
Wait.
Get out of the car.
Jesus Christ.
I've made friends who work in this world, in that world of drug wars and DEAs, law enforcement people. And one of them said to me something when I was preparing for Sicario, where he said, you know, it's been 30 years of this war on drugs, and not much has changed. You know, the supply of drugs hasn't diminished, and the consumption has not diminished. So it's kind of like, it helped me understand the character of Josh Brolin and my character, of this last gasp of fighting fire with more fire. And that rang truthful to me.
The cinematography, again, is fantastic on the movie because Roger is a genius, is a master, is someone that has one of the strongest eye alive today. I mean, and so, but it's a collaborative process. There's a long preparation. We dream a lot about the movie together, bringing references, both of us. And once we define the alphabet of the movie that we will talk about, the main qualities of the cinematography, we aim for the strongest point of view with, and say a kind of humility. I mean, to trying to make it as simple as possible. Everybody is talking about Roger, about how great he is with light and movement. But for me, its biggest quality is storytelling. Someone that has the ability to find the strongest point of view all the time. And I must say, I'm not bad myself, but he's stronger than me. He always, it's for me, I'm learning. Every shot is a learning process with Roger. How to tell a story in the most poetic and strong way.
What the?
There were moments we were shooting where I realized we were making something really, really special. But I think when I saw the full picture and just how cinematic it was, when you see really what Roger Deakins has brought to the table, which is that other character of that prowling camera that surveys, and the claustrophobia of it, the internal experience that you have watching it, that was when I fully understood that this was a film that you didn't listen to as a film, you just felt.